The Face It playoffs have concluded the first week of competition, and if you didn't know what was happening, don't worry, this information was closely guarded. It'd be easier to find top secret government documents than where to watch the official broadcast. They brought in the entire OWCS desk and somehow forgot to acknowledge its existence. The only sign of it on the OW Esports Twitter account is a retweet of Timeless Australia heading into the OCE Grand Finals. They'd rather gas up 4 tournaments featuring diamond players than qualifiers for the biggest tournament of the year. They didn't even host the EWC_OW Twitch account to get more eyes on it. They were content with being outperformed by Commander X for the entire first day. But do not fret, I got you tapped in with the best and worst plays of the first half of the Esports World Cup qualifying playoffs. Starting off in NA, where thanks to Toronto staying true to their roots and securing a mid-bottom 4 performance at DreamHack Dallas, the region now only gets 3 slots at EWC compared to EMEA's 5. This makes the NA bracket an all-out war to make it in and means a good team has to go home to an ice soup supper. But of course, Toronto themselves aren't involved. Merit and someone might be locked up in North America low, with Super finding new and creative ways to int their ranked games on Doomfist, but they are not about to fraternize with its residents. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how fraud this team is compared to Korea, they still the kind of squad that makes the current opposition start shaking like a Panthers fan watching McJesus start to cook and bring Edmonton back into the series. I guess when you get Owl champions in the lobby, it just causes some crazy mistakes that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Like, I don't know any other time the Hollywood janitors decided to grease up the high ground and cause CJ to swan dive into 5 people. This clip alone is enough content for Korean Uncoachable to hit on bro for another 80 minutes just because his shoes got no traction. Then we have a moment where the threat of someone being nano boosted driving across the map onto 0 people is enough to make Icy forget what he's doing. This might be the first case of an aura-induced C9. And finally, sometimes a player like Merit makes you want to cosplay World War II Italy and just switch teams. Rocket makes sure to give Merit's High Noon that little extra push he was looking for to take out Mateball, but bro did not ask for that help, doesn't want that help, and will not be accepting Rocket's offering. So he kept it pushing, took on a monstrous lead, and secured the Defiant spot in EWC by making winners finals. This means that TSM have to make a lower bracket run to avoid missing out on yet another crucial tournament. Other than getting beat down by Toronto, Doofenshmirtz vs Planty the Potted Plant style, in the first round they pulled up on Luminosity in a deeply unserious 3-2 win. 2 of TSM's map wins included Dante getting hit by Icy's rock more times in that 1 Sigma practice range jump and just dying. On the other hand, the 2 times they lost, their alt economy made purchasing a 2 liter of milk for $9 Canadian look like a bargain. This happened through things like Icy cage jaxing due to a Dante jump scare, Mateball beating down both DPS, and Mateball ajaxing as he becomes a massless object to transcend gravity. Now, I've seen the Newton documents and I was taught what goes up must come down. So not only is Rocket trying to kill him, but so is Sir Isaac. And even though they didn't lose this fight, Chopper getting that Windows notification to force an alt tab mid blade could not have helped the stock market. But hold on, we need to start a dialogue. Why is Dante reloading when staring at a Genji mid blade as he has an ammo reset and movement lockdown ability available? And why did he wait till after the reload to drop it? Bro just did the Overwatch equivalent of going out to McDonald's before hitting up the Chinese buffet. If you are still searching for a sign that Dante has hit Unk status, you missed the boat because he is in Gramps territory. This means that Luminosity had to face their worst enemy in Citrus Nation, who were beaten down versus Toronto in their round 1, which has imagery so brutal I cannot show it on screen. This game started off with a lack of lethal due to collegiate restraints or something like that, so map 1 didn't really count. King and Vision were just doing whatever the hell they wanted and gave 0 respect. I mean, Vision is straight up rolling into Citrus for fun. Luckily, Hunter made the genius call for Vision to get his 1 troll of the series out of the way when Citrus weren't at full strength, which led to him being the single biggest problem in the lobby. With the way he was clicking heads, it's like every fight had a 1 in 5 chance to be over no matter what Citrus did. Bro was basically good for a Team Wiper 2 every map. I'm not saying Luminosity didn't deserve to lose this game, but Vision certainly deserved to win. And you already know at the bottom of his defeat screen, he somehow saw a reversal modifier and then promptly punched a hole right through it because he don't miss. I got 2 minutes straight of him just pulling 3 or 4 kills out of a hat in a single fight. If he really wanted to, he could probably make a 2-song montage from clips of this match only. With the help of King's Conks, he was able to find huge, fight-winning, important Ajaxes on LEP in maps 4 and 5 5, yet LG couldn't close. This kill could be the reason that LG even made it to extra rounds on map 5. It makes you wonder, if Vision was playing as well as I say he is, how did Citrus Nation end up with the reverse sweep? In the business, this is known as a tap gap. The world's brightest minds have asked, what if Pharah was freaky and called Freaka? Well, now we have our answer. Tap was making movements I didn't even know the human body was capable of creating. Besides finding unreasonable picks, he was doing everything. I'm pretty sure on the way to the point to trigger overtime at the damn near last possible second, he somehow found the time to do his team's taxes a year early. He broke LG's ankle so badly that Squid threw Suzu at him. Can we just take a moment to comprehend how fucked up you gotta be to try and make the enemy barrage invulnerable? But don't worry, he had everyone else cooked too. Gramps Dante ain't even know he's in the same room. And then on map 5, to close it out, he hits the pure, unadulterated Pharah gap into a classic casino jackpot spam kill, and then a nasty direct that I still don't quite understand how he landed. This doesn't even mention Lethal stepping in, warming up on map 2 of the series on the rare Ash pick no less, and making Vision cry as he sees the 3-0 sweep get taken away on Esperanza due to a high noon kill onto a Sigma. If I'm Vision, I'm giving John Redbird my letter of resignation, my 30-day notice. He can keep the degree even. And then for Lethal to hit the 360 kill around the world Daft Punk flank overclock 3K to end LG's overtime push. Nah, it's really cooked. It's over. I'm gone, bro. I'm done. Now Citrus must fight through the people's champs to continue their lower bracket run, and if we get Tap putting up anything remotely close to this LeBron level performance, it's low-key winnable. Speaking of energy shock, they had the most soggy games of the weekend with 5 map bangers against Timeless in round 1 and M80 in round 2. Their journey started off with Infected fighting for his life against the demon that is his internet provider. It might appear as if bro is straight tweaking off 5 packs of warheads, but in reality his internet died and the game was paused immediately. But it's not quite that simple. The Faceit admins thought they were slick, and when the 2-minute auto pause ran out, they tried to insta pause it again, but being Faceit admins, their pausing skills are as reliable as a McDonald's ice cream machine. This allowed Scissors to slide through with a quick 2k barrage while Timeless were caught lacking. As soon as the 2 kills are secured, they pause again. So from the broadcast POV, we go from Infected DCing, a 10-minute break, and then bang, Scissors killed 2. It's like the audience collectively blacked out and we got transported to an alternate unhinged dimension where PGE comes through on Tracer and cleans up with a 4K. The craziest thing is, despite all that nonsense, Infected was beaten down by his ISP again the next round, and NRG had to play out the first 25% in a 4v5. Luckily, bro came through on a phone hotspot, and even though all that data made him unable to afford the upcoming internet bill, NRG still won map 1 and Infected was locked in for the rest of the series. Map 2 was all NRG, with Cal giving us a prime shoe reenactment on Hollywood. If you were ever wondering why people play BAP with the Pharah, look no further. I do not care how much glaze the Blizzard skin department gives Kiriko, she cannot do this even with a $200 collection. Bro even hit the disrespect on Zira, jumping on his head and giving him the Smash Bros Spike knuckle sandwich from Uptown. Even when the barrage was only damaging public property, Cal stepped up and performed a citizen's arrest. On the other side, we got ZSS mistaking PGE's presence for the now matched power of the sun. This means we finally know that at minimum PGE is producing 4.4 quadrillion watts of aura. Even though bro is in clear view at the top of Z's screen, he's gonna have to bring the eclipse glasses out of retirement. But after going down 2 maps on Father's Eve, Seeker remembers that he raised PGE and he is still him. On this New Junk City point, he decided to fight back and got more 4Ks than your local area's Facebook marketplace. It's like the weight of going outside to his son 2 tournaments in a row would be too cruel. So even though he might not be the stepfather, he is the father who stepped up. Bro was rolling so hard he made PGE swap to Genji only to see him get thrashed like a seal on Shark Week. But Seeker did not rest and did all he possibly could to complete the reverse sweep on Junkertown, except for hitting the wire transfer or going even further past DDoSing Infected and shutting down his power grid completely. Bro got a 3K just to keep the dream alive, only for Scissors to kill 2 and Infected to whip out the hotspot special Sig 9. fine. Then on the defense, he strung together more picks than your day one Minecraft chest after you find iron. Bro damn near lapped PGE in walls, but it didn't matter. NRG got the one pick they needed, and Seeker was sent to lower bracket hell. As for NRG, they went on to face M80, and in the process produced a Charlie XCX brat level banger. M80's round 1 game was against Doomed, playing a level of Venture that should be hung beside Picasso paintings in a museum. Bro straight up 1v9'd to a map win against the best placing NA team at DreamHack. But regardless, the winner of this map 5 banger guaranteed their spot at the EWC, so it was quite possibly the most important match in many of these young players' career. That's to say, despite having less viewers than a moderately sized suburban strip mall, the lights were very bright. Luckily for M80, it's like they run on solar power, the way the harsh light increased their special attack by 1.5 times. Like, Tree came out here with a consistency that rivals BP's ability to get Preds wrong. On New Queen Street, he found an opening pick in 6 different fights. His existence in the lobby was practically the same as picking an NRG player at random and giving them the infected treatment by killing their internet for the fight. Then you got Liar making one of the single best plays that main support as a role has ever seen before. If you got Sun Tzu, Magnus Carlsen, BKC, and Gunba to sit down and determine the best way to play out the situation, they still wouldn't be able to come up with the path Liar took. Who else launches themselves off the point to jump PGE and then spins back to take care of the remaining unlucky survivors? It's not just that he was able to hold down the point, but that he was out for blood. The only reason he left Scissors alive was so that he could tell the tale of his terror. This was genuinely a Home Alone Christmas classic level of base defense. If he put his generational talent to use in the great BTD war, Quincy Nation might finally be able to get past round 500 and obliterate the Balloon Army once and for all. This type of performance could be the answer to breaking past wave 4000 in Pokerogue without the use of Metal Burst. Just to be certain that I've beat Dunkin' Donuts in the Glazing 1v1, I gotta mention how even the M80 Destructibles turned it up to a different level. The clip starts off with Infected fluxing High Noon and him generously donating 300 HP to the very important cause of Tree being the savior of NA. After being healed up, Energy go on the offensive with Window, and Infected corners Kaluge. But hold on, the lamp comes through from downtown and sacrifices the body to make a play. After this performance, they better extend this kid's contract for the second half of the tournament. And of course, the final M80 player who found an extra gear when it mattered most was Kaluge. Now that he ain't cutting and he traded in his rabbit food for delectable tasty sweets every day, there is nothing to hold him back. He stands proud as an anti-manga activist and liberally uses his right to whiff flux in new and creative ways. Crucially, he never missed on the same player twice in the series, so all the data on how bad you can really miss a flux is spread out equally across roles. But now let's take a look at how the young NRG Shock handled the big press. For the most part, they did decently well. Cal still had some big shoe moments and was hitting more headshots than Jacob Truba or Matt Kachuk. However, he also got a little jumpy and hit the double tap on Q to get the rare sideways window into conked off high ground and dead combo. Then you have PGE, and even with Big Face It lowering the overall baddie retention rate due to the lack of marketing and thus his power level, he had moments of fighting back against Tree's broken and oppressive 4v5 passive with fight winning 3Ks and ew. But then bro locks the Genji and gets caught being completely dialed in looking for the secret wing stop hidden on the map. But all things considered, this was a close game between two top NA threats, at least until Junkertown, and it starts off promising. Infected takes out Kaluge and starts pushing the advantage immediately. Bro comes down from the sky like he's about to make shit happen, but UV says, man, you ain't really built for that, and drops the window on him as Cal puts lamp on his dead body. Now, if you look carefully at your screen, and by that I mean like at it at all, you'll see that Infected was an entire regulation bowling alley away from his team. So it's fair to say he might have jumped the gun just a little, but don't worry, we got a lot more to go. PGE sees that his guy is in trouble and tries to slide for his day one. Unfortunately, there will be no sliding today, but despite tripping over his own shoelaces, he's still trying to box, and Tree doesn't think twice. At the same exact time, Scissors also wants to pull through and whips out the blade to do 0 damage. This complete structural breakdown happened before Liar solidified himself as the #1 guy ever, so they can't even use that as an excuse. If you took away the names here, you'd think this is a clip from Apply Sub Pugs. And just now, as I'm recording these lines at 6:55 a.m., I see Cal up there with the 3rd hero play attempt of the fight. But just wait, despite everything, they found a way into extra rounds where they huddled in a small room and prayed together in a circle in hopes that they'd be safe in their home against mythical beasts and some old dude that can manipulate gravity. As it would be, it didn't quite work out, and the brand new team with only a handful of scrims secured their spot at the Esports World Cup. With NA out of the way, let's get right into EMEA with a Twisted Minds checkpoint. They've lost it completely. They did not put up a fight versus Peps whatsoever, and it got so bad that UB locked the Torb and rolled out of the left door on Esperanza, which is something that cannot possibly mean anything good. No one in the history of Overwatch has ever walked out of that door with pure intentions. Next, we got Crispy running headfirst at a high noon, and I don't know what to make of this. It's quite possible it has never been more over than it currently is. And just to expand on that, here's Kellen jumping into 5 people with no regard for his life. There's no bubble, there's no primal, there's no life insurance, and honestly, I am concerned for his well-being at this point. And just in case their minds weren't twisted enough, Naga hit a violation of a C9 where Recall put him directly behind all 5 people so he could walk the card home for free. Moving on from that and following Peps on their journey where they squared off against SSG, the best team in the region, or at least they were supposed to be before Peps came in and gave him the unparalleled smoke. Peps were just one step ahead of him the whole time. Like my brother in Christ, Jamie, you could just leave. You ain't gotta trip all over yourself to stall this high noon now. Just back up slowly. Although I don't know why Landon dropped the Kitsune down. I get that all roads lead to Exodial, but just chill for a second, bruh. He does not need your help. If there is no path forward, don't worry for even a second. He will find a way through. It takes someone with real joyous whimsy and a platinum spirit deep inside to go for the high noon drop off from the top ropes. This 17-year-old Spanish kid that probably still has to do homework after the game is done took a look down, surveyed the area, and said, "My time is now." Landon saw those 2 cowboy boots enter his frame and was scared so badly he instantly dropped Suzu and vacated the premises. The only player on SSG that really made an effort to fight back was Funny Astro. He was hitting boops that would make prime Lige Gon smile upon him. First, he trades his life to boop Lane into a wall and save his team. Then he tells FD God to stay the hell back and slapped him across the map like he's Will Smith. He did not want any beat. And then finally, we got him hitting the Ajax for the one time, because you already know if Lige Gon is smiling on him, there needed to be some trolling. The other real EMEA game was ENCE vs Virtus Pro. Now, because ENCE got their EWC spot from DreamHack, they decided to commit to giving their subs reps and played a lot of Winston Dive. At the beginning, when Chase was on more of the Maga stuff, VP actually went up 2-0 and threatened to sweep, and after seeing Sana break poor old man Moss's ankles, I thought it was gonna happen. You know, saying his ankles were broken might be too kind, because they are just gone. If Naga's C9 from earlier was a violation, this is a war crime. If this happened to me, a combination of Alt and F4 would be pressed. It was a tough match to be a main support, man. Gala tried to enjoy himself and play Lifeweaver, but big mistake. Not even the game wanted the pick to work. And even when he hit a good boop and get some disruption going on the dive, it would be overshadowed by Chase putting him in the contraption. Bro had no clue where to go, and so he did not go anywhere. This is like being between a Wendy's and McDonald's and going home with a stale bag of chips. At that point, I'd almost rather Ajax than hit the solo beat with all my team alive. Don't worry though, on the very next point, Masa went beat for beat and hit this banger. I feel like I'm disproportionately hating on Masa, but bro, come on. It's not even like there's a well-placed bubble. It's just 2 dudes with Tom and Jerry level communication skills. This game went down to the wire, and in the end, despite a tough matchup and some even tougher deaths, Chase pulled through with the super clutch juggle on Gala to make sure he couldn't get beat off. Pause. And I have to mention Rajaro here, because how you gonna ask them to put in the A team when you can't even close out the B squad? I wasn't aware that the talk shit and to get reverse swept combo was patched into Overwatch, but I guess we learned today. The craziest part is when the lights were bright, bro turned into Kaluge. And finally, the most important game of the entire week, Quick Esports vs New Age. From this series, we actually already know who our Esports World Cup champion and MVP is, because it is a Kroxz World and we're all living in it. Whoever has the willpower to play Hog into Maga like this is the true protagonist of esports. Fearless, you are not him. You will never be Kroxz. Faker might have a $500 skin dedicated to him, but he too will never be Kroxz. There have been theories of a combination of mental insanity, skill, swag, and cheer, but it hasn't been seen with human eyes until now. Himmel the hero wouldn't participate in a Maga mirror, and neither will Kroxz. Even though he's on Maga, don't be mistaken, he chooses to make love, not war, and peacefully protest on the front lines to help both teams reach a mutual beneficial agreement. Unfortunately, New Age were unwilling to compromise, and even though Kroxz would like to solve these issues diplomatically, he'll do what must be done to ensure the best outcome for the most people. In this situation, there was simply no other way but to ball out on Roadhog. Y'all already know he's the one-man apocalypse with the style and grace to emote mid-team fight, so I'll take this time to thank you for watching my best and worst plays of the first half of EWC qualification. Be sure to subscribe to catch the part 2 of this video and the DreamHack Dallas vid when it inevitably drops. Have yourself a good one. Deuces.